Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're looking at an absolutely massive shift in how enterprises are consuming artificial intelligence. If you're an IT leader, a cloud architect, or a platform engineer, you already know the deal. Bolting AI onto your existing infrastructure has been, well, let's just be real, it hasn't exactly been a walk in the park. But on June 10th, 2026, OpenAI and Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI, announced this really deep integration that essentially rewrites the entire playbook. We're going to unpack exactly what this means for your infrastructure, your security posture, and of course, your developers.
So to really understand why this announcement is such a big deal, we first got to look at the reality on the ground right now. Why is enterprise AI deployment stalling out? Well, large organizations almost never adopt tools in a vacuum. Think about it. Your production apps, your complex data pipelines, your heavy compliance frameworks, they're already totally locked into specific cloud environments. Forcing your engineering teams to jump through a completely separate, brand new purchasing and procurement process just to get access to AI models, it creates massive friction. It slows down proof of concepts, it completely stalls production deployments, and honestly, it just gives procurement teams a massive headache.
So it really comes down to this crucial contrast. The old way we've been doing things versus where the industry is clearly heading. The old way of AI adoption, it often looked like a literal shadow IT nightmare. You had raw API keys scattered across dozens of developer workstations like sticky notes, decentralized billing all over the place, and totally fragmented vendor agreements. But the new way, which this OpenAI and Oracle partnership completely cements, is cloud-native procurement. Instead of routing payments through some separate OpenAI billing portal or trying to negotiate a brand new vendor agreement from scratch, you just provision model access natively.
Okay, here's our flight plan for this explainer. 1. The new AI integration. 2. Solving enterprise friction. 3. Architectural and security wins. 4. Powering up with Codex. And 5. Your operational playbook.
Let's jump into Section 1, the new AI integration, bringing frontier models natively to OCI.
The core news here is actually pretty straightforward, but it's highly impactful. OpenAI's frontier models and their Codex coding agent, they are now available directly through OCI as native services. You do not need to go out and create a separate enterprise account with OpenAI to get access to their absolute best models. For any organization already operating inside the Oracle ecosystem, the barrier to entry is essentially dropped to zero.
Now let's look at how this actually impacts the financial side of things, because let's be honest, this is where the C-suite really starts paying attention. Organizations can now consume these advanced models using their existing Oracle Cloud commitments. Billing flows entirely through your established OCI contract. If you already have capital committed to OCI for compute, storage, or networking, boom, you can use that exact same budget allocation for your AI model consumption. It completely wipes out the administrative overhead of onboarding a new vendor.
Moving right along to Section 2, solving enterprise friction, why cloud-native AI is the inevitable future.
Look, IT security teams have rightfully been pushing back hard against the old model of distributing raw API keys. When keys are just sitting there on individual developer machines, it totally bypasses your centralized audit trails and breaks your network controls. But by bringing the models directly into the OCI ecosystem, all your governance controls, your audit logs, and your network security policies, they remain perfectly intact. When a developer leaves your organization, you don't have to scramble and panic rotate keys across dozens of GitHub repos. You literally just update one single OCI identity and access management policy.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly where the entire cloud market is heading right now. To give you some context from the broader industry, AWS reported annualized AI revenue exceeding $15 billion, yes, billion with a B, in Q1 of 2026. And that was after they integrated OpenAI models into Amazon Bedrock. That massive, staggering number, it reflects a heavy, completely undeniable enterprise demand for this exact type of deployment pattern.
That whole market movement proves one really simple truth, and it's summarized perfectly by this quote from our sources. Customers want AI models where their production workloads already live. Moving sensitive data across the public internet just to hit an external AI API, it's increasingly seen as a totally unnecessary risk and a huge performance bottleneck. Oracle's integration follows this exact logic, targeting organizations that have already committed to OCI and just letting them run AI adjacent to their critical data.
Which brings us to Section 3, Architectural and Security Wins, Consolidating Your Infrastructure.
When AI inference and coding agents run natively inside your own virtual private cloud, your VPC, the entire deployment landscape changes drastically.
First off, you completely eliminate cross-cloud data egress. Your data isn't leaving your environment to be processed anymore. And because of that, you significantly reduce network latency. Add to that the unified IAM configuration we just talked about and centralized audit logs that treat AI usage exactly like any other database or compute instance. Your existing network policies that restrict outbound traffic, they now naturally cover your AI model access. No extra, messy firewall rules required.
For all the platform engineering teams tuning in, you're going to love this. This means you get to stick to your existing infrastructure as code practices. You can provision OCI AI Gateway resources using the exact same Terraform or ARM templates you already use to spin up traditional workloads. Your security scanning, your cost allocation tags, your logging, it all applies uniformly. AI basically stops being this weird special exception and finally becomes a standardized cloud primitive.
All right, Section 4, Powering Up with Codex, the ultimate AI coding agent.
Now, it's absolutely crucial to understand what Codex actually is in this context. It's OpenAI's AI coding agent that can read, edit, and run code in its own cloud environment. Now, what's really interesting about this is it's not just a fancy autocomplete. With this native integration, enterprises get direct access to that power without needing that secondary vendor relationship. Codex can actually work on tasks in the background, even in parallel, securely utilizing your cloud resources.
And it hooks right into how your developers already work. On GitHub, developers can literally just tag @Codex on issues and pull requests to spin up tasks and propose changes. Inside their IDE, through a simple extension, they can kick off heavy cloud tasks and just monitor the progress locally. And for the automation power users out there, there's a full CLI to script operations right from the terminal. The whole shebang. And all of it can now be strictly governed by your overarching OCI enterprise policies.
Finally, Section 5, Steps for Adoption, your operational playbook.
So if you're ready to actually make this transition, how do you get from proof of concept to production? Well, here are the 5 critical steps pulled right from the integration documentation. Step 1, verify your existing OCI commitment covers AI consumption with your procurement team. Step 2, map your data residency. Because the models run inside OCI, your data stays inside your designated region, which simplifies compliance massively. Step 3, update your IAM policies to grant access through OCI, keeping those zero trust principles intact. Step 4, benchmark your latency and cost. While native endpoints usually wipe out egress fees and slash round-trip times, you always want to measure against your current setup just to be sure. And Step 5, pin your model versions in your infrastructure as code. You definitely want to prevent breaking changes when models update.
And honestly, here's the absolute best news for your development teams. The upgrade path is largely administrative, not technical. If you're already building with these models, you don't need to stay up all night rewriting inference code or swapping out all your SDKs. The integration utilizes standard OCI AI service endpoints. Once you're provisioned, your existing API calls simply route right through the new, secure OCI AI gateway. It's really that smooth.
We've seen today that AI is just no longer a bolt-on accessory. It is a core component of enterprise architecture. By integrating OpenAI models directly into OCI, the friction of procurement, the nightmares of scattered security keys, and the latency of cross-cloud data transfers, they're just eliminated. Which raises a really exciting question for every IT leader and developer watching. When AI becomes just another reliable, governed cloud primitive in your toolkit, what will your team build next? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep building and keep innovating.